Hey guys, today we're going to shake down this brand new 2022 Coleman UT400. That's right, Coleman, the company known for their massive lineup of camping products, also has a Powersports division, and they make a kick-ass lineup of Powersports machines. Stick around, you're watching UTV Underground. All right, if you guys have been following us for the past 10 years, you know that we pride ourselves on not just reviewing the top of the line, most expensive machinery out there, but also the stuff in the middle of the pack and for those on a budget. Not everyone has $40,000 to drop on a decked out Ranger or Defender. Frankly, most of us don't. So it only makes sense that we take a look around at some of the other interesting offerings in the market. Back in 2008, when UTV Underground was born, there were only about 5 or 6 OEMs in the space. Obviously, that has doubled or even tripled by now. The Powersports lineup by Coleman represents yet another well-known American company getting into the UTV and side-by-side market, and that's a good thing. Now, a few months ago, Coleman shipped us a pair of brand new 0-mile UT400s. And compared to the other machines we have on the ranch, these units initially felt pretty small. They're 52 inches wide, just over 100 inches long, and so their footprint is a lot more like a golf cart than our other larger utility UTVs. But depending on your situation, that might be a good thing. Bigger isn't always better. What we noticed and we liked right off the bat was the solid metal dump bed with a slide latching system, as well as the included roof, side view mirrors, a 2-piece removable windshield, and a winch. Those 5 features right off the bat piqued our interest because we routinely talk about them being missing as standard items from other OEMs for much more expensive machines. How do you sell a $25,000 UTV with no roof, mirrors, winch, windshield, and a flimsy plastic tailgate? They're out there. So kudos to Coleman for getting that right at a fraction of the cost right out of the gate. The UT400 sits on 25-inch 2-ply tires and a pretty plain-looking aluminum wheel that isn't going to win any design awards. But it does come with 5-position adjustable shocks and has a decent 12 inches of ground clearance. That's actually more clearance than a lot of the other big OEM machines in this category, frankly. It has a double wishbone suspension, so the UT400 is more than capable of performing some medium-duty work around the shop, yard, farm, or factory. The dump bed has release latches on both sides and has a gas strut to help lift it up and dump. And the tailgate latches are actually metal latches that actually stay locked or open by lifting them and sliding them left and right easily. None of the current OEMs with plastic dump beds have figured out how to make a proper tailgate latch, so this feature alone is worth noting. The winch is made by Songpeng and is rated for 3,500 pounds. At this price point, that's a really nice addition that many other lower-cost UTV OEMs will simply skimp on. Neither the Ranger 500 or 570, for example, come with the winch and cost thousands of dollars more. And there's a decent front brush guard and front bumper protecting standard-looking headlights. It's also worth noting that this machine has a full skid plate on the bottom and mud guards. It's another example of Coleman not cutting corners. The detachable 2-piece windshield is a really nice addition. It uses heavy-duty Velcro roll bar clamps for a large upper windshield, and then there's a lower dust windshield that can be left on or removed. Again, a really nice touch for this price point. The roll cage itself looks well designed and the welds look good. It's also got what looks like a rhino lining type coating that we're betting is chip resistant and therefore going to help keep the cage looking nice. Can't go wrong with the poly roof as well. Shade should be mandatory on every UTV, period. Selling a machine with no roof is just lame in our opinion. That should be standard. And as mentioned, the side mirrors are a nice touch. There's no dedicated rear view mirror, but with a side mirror, you're covered in most situations. Okay, so these units came with a netted half door. We hate net doors. We don't use them here at the ranch. In our opinion, they really aren't likely going to keep you inside the vehicle in the event of a rollover, but it's nice that Coleman added them from the factory. That said, we removed them right away. Overall, it's a really solid looking machine on the exterior. The all-metal dump bed and the included roof, windshield, mirrors, and winch really make the functionality of this unit pop right off the bat. There's even little touches like the gas cap has a cable on it to keep it from getting lost. There's a lot of nice little touches like that on this machine. The Coleman UT400 has a 392cc 4-stroke engine with single overhead cams. It's a tried and true electronic fuel injected 28 horsepower motor that Coleman has had great success with this past decade. It has a very basic CVT transmission with a single forward gear and reverse. That's right, there's no high or low forward gear. It does have a push button 4-wheel drive, which you can access with a dedicated switch, and it has limited slip and complete differential lock modes to help you get in and out of most sticky situations. All that being said, this is not a machine that is set up to carry big loads uphill for hundreds of miles a day at high speeds. It's not a heavy-duty UTV, but the cost isn't heavy-duty either. So if you're looking for a machine to haul logs or tow 3,000 pounds worth of cargo, this is not the right tool. The hydraulic brakes feel responsive and adequate for the size of the machine, and there is a small tow hitch for towing very light trailers. As mentioned before, the UT400 comes with 5-position adjustable shocks and has a foot of ground clearance built around a double wishbone suspension in each corner. That's suitable for about 2 adults and a decent load of gravel in the dump bed. That's not a great choice if you're bushwhacking with 2 of your buddies and carrying all your camping gear, rifles, and hoping to nail a few 100-pound bucks. So just keep that in mind. It's a perfectly decent suspension for medium to light duty work. All right, let's talk about the interior for a minute. The cockpit of the UT400, as you might imagine for a machine this size, is very svelte. That said, our crew of 20 all fit in it just fine, and many of us are over 6 feet tall and pushing 250 pounds these days, thank you COVID. The dash and instrument cluster are one of the biggest areas of stripped down savings on these units. There's no ride command or touchscreen wizardry here, just a very straightforward analog instrument cluster. One thing we'll give Coleman credit for though is the horn, the aforementioned mirrors, blinkers, headlights, brake lights, and power outlet. That, and there's a proper license plate holder with a light. Now that's smart. In many states, you can register a vehicle like this for driving around certain areas so long as it has these few key items like seat belts and turn signals. The UT400 has all of that, which makes it easier to register than many of the other major OEM machines that have none of those features standard. Again, this little red UTV isn't going to win any design awards, and there's not a lot of storage other than a tiny glove box, but that's fine. It's not supposed to be a minivan. Also noteworthy is the parking brake and release lever. It's not the most robust feeling mechanism, but useful when parking on hills for sure. And one other important note on the interior, there is no cup holder. All right, we've been using these 2 machines for several months now, both here on our ranch and out in the wild to suit a whole variety of needs. Everything from hauling soil, mulch, hay, and wood around the yard, to loading it up with our film crews and our gear, and putting guys out in film spots in the woods and the desert. You know what we love? Because these machines have limited power, our guys don't hot dog them around. There's something to be said about building in the limitations that you need for your staff, right? These are basically heavy-duty golf carts, and that's just fine. We love them for being just that. We've loaded them to the hilt with luggage, coolers, camera gear, all kinds of coursework equipment, and driven them for hours through dirt, silt, sand, and more. And they just hold up. Okay, so what's the verdict on the Coleman UT400? Well, we love these machines. They're absolute solid contenders in the $10,000 price range. Coleman has found a really nice niche here that includes a well-established motor and transmission package, some traditional analog tech, and lots of standard features that many UTV makers are forcing all of us to pay extra for. Kudos to these guys for acknowledging that a roof, side mirrors, windshield, winch, horn, turn signals, and brake lights aren't accessories and shouldn't cost another $2 to $3 grand above the sticker price. Based on some of the other reviews we've watched and read, it looks like the general consensus is these machines really hold up well on the farm, the ranch, warehouse facility, and even as groundskeeping vehicles. So we're excited to use both of them through the rest of 2022 and into 2023. I mean, really, this is two machines almost for the price of what one normally costs these days. So a special thank you to Coleman for providing these test units. Now, we're going to be reviewing some of their other Powersports products throughout the next year or two, including the BT200X mini bikes. So stay tuned on that. From all of us here at UTV Underground, hit that like and subscribe button. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Give Coleman a solid look here, the UT400. Pretty kick-ass little machine. Thanks, guys. We'll see you out there in the dirt.